The week of the 30th of June, Monday to the 6th of July, which is a Sunday, is full of some electric surprises brought to us by Venus, goddess of love, beauty, peace, and all things that bring us pleasure, co-joining Uranus, the god of that which usually gives us something damn well unexpected. This is occurring in 29 degrees of Taurus. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to bring something to our awareness in a exciting, surprising, exhilarating, or shocking way connected to our stories of love, of money, but also for the world of war. And the only reason is because Venus in her morning star iteration is often connected to matters of war. And so I'll briefly touch on where this surprise might show up in the world geopolitical landscape. But then I want to move right into your sign because I want you to know how to cope with, deal with, or enjoy the Venus Uranus surprise. Usually it's positive. 8 out of 10 times people think of it as a positive money surprise, love surprise, joy, fun, play, creativity, breakthroughs. Think of the word break free, breakthrough. That's very Uranian. Think of Venus, breakthroughs in love, breakthroughs in finances, money, breakthroughs in pleasures, breakthroughs in all good things. And she's in her home kingdom. She belongs to Taurus. Taurus belongs to her. She will do her best to bring something ultimately good from the kingdom of Taurus as she joins Uranus in this week ahead. So we're going to break it down. I'm going to show you the dates and times. It is around July the 3rd that the exact conjunction between Venus at 29 Taurus happens with Uranus. So just be aware of that the day before Independence Day in the United States of America, and shortly after Canadian, I'm Canadian, our July 1st version of your holiday. So we're all going to see this holiday season bring us some surprises. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. We're using the whole sign houses, fixed stars, and minor asteroids are a part of my wheelhouse. In today's video, we're going to also talk about the Sabian symbol connected to this degree of the sky and about the archetypes in general of Venus and Uranus. I also want you to be aware that this is coming to a closing phase for Venus. She's been meeting with Uranus since 2019, and the last time she'll do this in Taurus, I should say, is going to be next spring, next summer. So we're coming to the 7th out of 8th conjunctions with Venus and Taurus meeting with Uranus there as well. And we won't see this cycle of 7 to 8 meetings again for another 84 years. So it's coming to an energetic shift or closure about where we've been experiencing these surprises in the heavens in our lives since 2019. Also, if you're new here, I do want to share a promotion with you if you don't mind. And the promotion is simple. I am going to be teaching Sky Reader for the 6th time, and it's going to be happening in September. This is my live 6-week course with me. It happens once a year. Be your own astrologer, time your best life. I'm making it really affordable. I know a lot of people are stressed out. It's always been affordable, even more so this year. If you want to get a super discount early bird price on that, please go below and hit the description box, and you'll see a link to the course wait list, where when I open the enrollment tuition card in July, probably the 3rd week of July, you're going to be getting enrolled at a discount price before the general public. All right. And being on the wait list just gives you the option to get that early price. You don't have to enroll at all. As well, my 2023 All Signs bundles, 2025 are currently out there in the ethers, and you can get it half price because we're halfway through the year. $33 will get you 24 hours of video content, 2 hours for each sign, and different PDF guidebooks written by me for each sign, or just get your own sign for 22 bucks. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. You've still got 6 months of the year ahead, and I describe how to time your best life in 2025 based on sun, moon, and rising. Okay, let's get going and talk about the week ahead. Now, before we do, I want to share good old Ren Butler, my favorite guy, Ren Butler's archetypal universe right here. And by the way, this week is pretty simple. Neptune will head retrograde on July the 3rd or on July the 4th. Happy Independence Day. And we'll talk about that in a separate video on my channel. It's subtle but important, but it's a month-long influence, not a weekly. And Venus will head into Gemini for 3 weeks. And that's also a bigger story than just this week. So you can look forward to a Venus and Gemini story as she crosses the path into Gemini on July 4th. So those stories will be separate videos, but this Monday video is the overview of the biggest thing in the week ahead, which to me is the 29 anaretic Taurus conjunction. Taurus 29 degrees of Venus, Venus with Uranus. Ren Butler, archetypal universe, friend of mine. I've interviewed him for my channel. He'll be coming on in a video release early in the first week of July. Now, what I want you to draw your attention to is what happens when these two planets archetypally combine. Relationship breakthroughs, a rebirth of love and friendship, feelings of romantic electricity, excitement, a colorful and eccentric sense of style, focus, sparkle, and fun. And then when they combine in the darker side, it could be a very disruptive energy regarding love triangles, sudden attractions without substance, falling head over heels, basically, for the wrong person, disharmony and aestheticism or beauty. And he has a lot of great little pieces of archetypal information here, drawing on very, very interesting pieces of history. Hasty marriage seldom proveth well, says Shakespeare, born with a Venus Uranus opposition. And also, we have a quote from "Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety." Venus opposite Uranus from Shakespeare. Now, my experience with this over the years, independent of sign, because we're talking about Taurus, which brings wealth, money, and pleasure. My experience of this in general has been positive. No matter what sign Venus co-joins into with Uranus, we get some good news in our individual lives. But I want to draw our attention to some challenging aspects that may occur in this week ahead. And by the way, the Sabian symbol is a peacock parading on an ancient lawn. I just thought right away of Donald Trump myself, I don't know why peacock ancient lawn could be the White House lawn, but it talks a lot here about a representation of the collective ideals of others as manifested by one individual, the show off, the peacock strutting their stuff. It can be narcissist, pretentious, vanity, haughtiness, but then it can also be a gift for dramatizing things, in a positive way. It's kind of interesting, but we might look for some shocking stories about females, Venus. 29 degrees is a fame degree. Famous females strutting their stuff in dramatic ways, okay? But anyway, but the United States, here's the world stuff for you guys in a nutshell. The United States, New York Stock Exchange has its sun pretty close to 29 degrees of Taurus. Also 29 degrees of Taurus involves a star. It's called Algol. It's about decapitation, losing one's head. The 29th degree says a fame degree. So someone who's famous losing their head, not necessarily literally, but as you know, decapitation means to lose a head of state, head of power, as well as literally one's head. And so I often say, like, when the July 13th, clipping of Donald Trump's ear happened, and it could have taken his head, I suppose, there was a Mars-Uranus conjunction on the decapitating star of Algol, and it was on his midheaven squaring his body as ascendant. He literally was in the crosshairs of that, which I had forecast. So who could be in the crosshairs of 29 Taurus? Well, one in Canada, Mark Carney, kind of a pretty boy, 29 degrees of Taurus. Well, his ascendant's right there at 27, also an Algol. So you could have a shocking, surprising, and almost decapitating moment for Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, sometime around July the 3rd. It's our July 1st holiday. It doesn't have to be a literal one. Maybe major rebellion, Uranus's protests. He's just blown a trade deal with the United States by insisting on a digital tax, and Trump has walked away from the negotiations, and it's not going well in his PR, Carney's PR, or with the Canadian public. The other one would be the nation of Israel has its sun at Taurus, 23 degrees, not exactly close, but in the same decan. So decan meaning the 10 degrees, like 21 to, the end of the sign, or 20 to the end of the sign of Taurus, which is associated with the 7 of Pentacles, where in our life is a juice not worth the squeeze kind of thing. But also it's a decan ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is the lord of time and karma, the taskmaster, but also sometimes the reaper, like the Grim Reaper. So chronicator, your time is up. Saturn, decan. Well, Israel's sun is there, pretty close enough to count. So we may see a shock, awe, surprise. Now, Israel's sun has been under this energy since 2018, more so in the last 3 or 4 years, as Uranus is meeting with Venus, starting from the early parts of Taurus back in 2019, and coming along slowly towards where we are now. I'll show you the graph of that so you can compare these timeframes in your own life. I'll show you that to you in 5 seconds, I promise. So Israel's sun and the New York Stock Exchange are in the crosshairs. Mark Carney is in the crosshairs. The sun of a nation, which is in this case Israel, that means its leader. So its leader, it doesn't mean, it means the leader of the nation of Israel is in the decapitation crosshairs. I've long suspected that if Iran could get its Nessus vengeance back for ills it feels that Israel has done to it, especially its decapitation of, in quotes, military generals and leaders of Hamas, Hezbollah, their own generals, and the decapitation, in quotes, the words that starts with A, the unaliving word, of nuclear scientists. Like, these are civilian scientists that are being killed. There is this, like, we will bide our time and get our revenge. And I don't see that Iran would get revenge by bombing civilian targets in a country. Okay. It's just not its MO as an Islamic nation. It's kind of against the grain of the religion itself, believe it or not. Okay. It's not, it's like, thou shalt not kill. There are edicts and ethics in all world religions. And it's a very religious country, a very religious political leadership. And in this regard, they would do unto others if they have done unto you, they will try to do something similar. So could they pull that off? Probably not by themselves. And if it did happen, they might have help from another ally, another nation with another intelligence system. I don't know. Anyone have any ideas? So those are the places where we'll get a shock or surprise sometime this week. It could be anytime, honestly, between like June 30th even through to about July the 4th. And so those are the world event stories. Now for your sign, I want you to just take a screenshot of this because I'm very synodic cycles. I like you to see the rhythm of the sky. I have a song in my head, the rhythm of the sky, for some reason. Here's what you can take note of. Okay, guys, this is, you're not going to get this again for 84 years. It was last connecting this way in the 30s and early 40s, late 30s, early 40s. The rhythm of the sky here is, even though Uranus tiptoed into the sign of Taurus in 2018, May, he left in October. So we really see the beginning of the story for Venus's connection in 2019 at 3 Taurus. Therefore, anyone here, sun, moon, rising, with a Taurus, around 3 degrees, you might have felt some pretty big jolts in your life in that cycle. And these cycles, even though it's this week, and it's kind of like I'm saying, watch out for June 30th to July 4th. That's true, but it also is cycle to cycle. So what was started in 2019 in that conjunction lasts until March 8th of 2020. So, and then what starts in March of 20 lasts to April of 21 and on and on. So it kind of sets a keynote energy for your year ahead, not just the days that this is occurring. And I'll bring that up when we share the sky today, so you can look at that for your sign and I can make some broad suggestions for you. Now, you'll notice that I mentioned the nation of Israel and Joe Biden. Joe Biden has his moon, pretty close to 3 degrees of Taurus. So that means that the 2019 and 2020 spring conjunctions activated the moon and Taurus of Joe Biden. Why is that important? Well, you might remember that Joe Biden came into power as a president of the United States. And he did that during the 2019-20 Taurus, Uranus, Venus cycle on his moon for popular appeal and public masses liking him. So because of that, we saw him being, sworn in for the presidency as a result of this 2020 conjunction to his moon at 4 Taurus. I think his moon is at 1 Taurus. So you get the idea here. Do you have your sun, moon, or rising near any of these degrees in any of these years, or your midheaven, your high noon of your chart for career? You may have seen some major changes, or on your descendant, like, that could be a Scorpio rising and your descendant is around any of these degrees, then you could have had disruptions in your marriage or long-term relationships or breakthroughs. So if you look at 23 degrees of Taurus in 2024, and 16 degrees in 2023. Both of those are close to the sun of Israel. The sun of Israel, I believe, is 23 degrees of Taurus. So it is the May of 2024, May 18th of 2024. Venus Uranus conjunction to the sun, the leader of and the solar energy of the country, May 18th of 24, could have impacted the leadership of Israel in a dramatic way, including Benjamin Netanyahu. And then this is closing out on July the 4th. The conjunction is exact. This is time zone dependent. In my time zone, it's happening on July the 3rd, but it will be at 29 degrees of Taurus and erratic. And again, next year, it'll be at 29 degrees of Taurus. That still influences the sun of Israel, but it more influences Mark Carney and the United States Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange as well. Take the screenshot. What happened to the leadership of Israel May 18th of 2024? I bet you're wondering that. I want you to remember that Uranus is going to surprise or shock, and Venus is in her home kingdom, and she is the goddess of peace. What happened back then was that this is a conjunction on the 18th. And on the 20th, what happened was the ICC, the International Criminal Court, issued arrest warrants for the defense minister of Israel, Yoav Gallant, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, at which point Netanyahu came up with this big statement. This was a disgrace and all of that. And Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, and Ishmael Haniyeh were both also called out for the ICC for arrest warrants, right? Crimes against humanity, criminal, what do you call it? Like war criminals, right? But of course, that was a shock or a surprise. It certainly was upsetting to Israel's reputation in the world and to the leaders of Israel. So you see what I'm talking about. You get the vibe. You can't make this stuff up. It's in play. We're going to say June 30th, maybe even the 5th of July. Get ready for some jolts. It could still be about Israel's leadership, but also as the other things I mentioned are in play. Now, if we're going to listen for your sign today, and I'll show you the chart of the sky this week, you're going to listen for your sun, moon, and rising. You can try all three. How does this work? I know a lot of people get confused. I'll try my best to explain it to you. Your rising sign is your character in the simulation. It's what you look like. It's how you act. It's how people see you. And it often will be circumstantially most accurate in listening to general bell curve astrology like this. Don't forget, this is not a personal chart reading. It's general trends that may occur to your sign. So your rising sign is that. You need a birth time to cast your chart. To find your rising sign, you can use my free tutorial in the description box below. If you have a birth chart, also teaches you how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. Once you go whole sign, you will never go back. Ancient sign house allows for Time Lord tools. If you don't use it, you don't have them. Now, if you're listening for your moon, it's home. It matters to do with your domicile, your private life, your domestic life. I often joke, an eclipse to your moon will change where you live. It happens every time. I had an eclipse to my moon, I'm moving again. The moon is also how you might feel about your world and your life and what's going on, your emotional and mental and your mind, body, feelings, like how you think and feel about your life. Now, when we talk about your sun, we're talking about your career purpose matters, but it also represents the essential nature of who you are, your true soul. When we do this, we pretend the sun is in the first house. We pretend the moon is in your first house in your natal sign that it's in, and act as if it's the helmsman or the steering wheel driver of your chart. Enough said. That's how you can listen today. Let's pull up the sky so we can go through each separate sign, talking about what does the sky hold in store for you, with a shocking, surprising element that you've been experiencing this kind of vibe since 2019. And yet every time it's different. It's never exactly the same, especially because of outer planet changes. Let's take a look together. Okay, I'm going to finish this video before we go to your sign by saying the following things. I forgot to add the asteroid Phaethon is conjunct Venus, and Phaethon is like, it's not an easy asteroid to deal with. Don't forget, it's going to impact those Taurus placements in our sky, people, places, and things. And for example, even Donald Trump has his midheaven around 26 degrees of Taurus, and this is at 29 degrees. So Donald Trump and his career and reputation, nation of Israel and its situation, the New York Stock Exchange is in the harm's way, or the excitement or the breakthrough or the rebellion energy of Uranus and Venus. But it's the asteroid Phaethon that I wanted to draw our attention to in this moment. So let me tell you what Phaethon is about. So I'm going to say it this way. I'm going to go into a kind of simple delineation and then a big. So we have quite a week ahead with Venus conjunct Uranus at the 29 degrees of Taurus. She's sitting right on the asteroid Phaethon. This is an intense energy. It could impact the nation of Israel's leadership, Donald Trump and his career and reputation, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, as well as the New York Stock Exchange, with unexpected, shocking surprises. Phaethon was the son of the god Helios, who operated his solar chart and lost control and almost set fire to the earth, and then moved too far away and almost froze the earth. So basically, it was about recklessness and that endangers the people of the earth. So recklessness is a story that is on the menu in this week ahead of June the 30th to July the 6th. That was for my video editor. Okay. But watch out for Phaethon. Phaethon, you don't need to worry about the recklessness of the guy who almost froze the earth and almost froze the, froze or he boiled the earth. That's not your story, but you would say, be careful for shock surprises and breakthroughs. It could incite you to a reckless moment in this week ahead from June 30th to at least July the 5th. That's the window of watch, wait, and see. It's exact in my time zone, Western Canada, on July the 3rd, time zone dependent. You may feel it on July 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. Let's go ahead and let's do your sign. And here we go. Asteroid Phaethon right there on Venus. There's Phaethon at 27. By the way, that asteroid is really close to Netanyahu, 23 degrees Taurus, son of Israel, right on Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada's ascendant, right on top of it right now, and really, really, really close to Donald Trump's midheaven as well. So those stories with some shocking surprises this week ahead. Don't forget, they could be positive surprises, for Venus is the goddess of good things in her own kingdom. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. Don't forget, like and subscribe, guys. I would appreciate it. It is your money house already. It's your money house. It's your savings, your earnings, your resources. It's the money that you can possess. It's your material possessions. Like I own a car, I own a house. You possess something, right? And this part of your chart has a surprise in store for you. It might be really positive. You might have a sudden exciting win. Be careful for recklessness. You don't want to be reckless with whatever this is, but I'm not liking this for you. I think it's quite lovely. And in some ways, because you have this, intense shock surprise coming up July 3rd/4th, time zone dependent, you might feel like the universe just graced you with a bit of juicy money luck. Venus's luck and Uranus's lucky surprise. I wanted to draw our attention to one of the closer asteroids, Athena. She is in a kind of a conversation with this that could say luck through windfalls, pennies from heaven, or some kind of favor from a friend in a high place, or some kind of ally or benefactor dispensing some financial luck upon you in this week ahead. One thing I would say as well about this part of the story is that you could find that there's ways to compare it to 2019 on the yearly in that chart, when every year since 2019, more or less, you've got this little bit of jolt of funny honey money, lucky surprises, and maybe rags to riches when Uranus transits through people's second house, or if they're born with that, they'll have dramatic variations in their wealth, from like empty bucket to overflowing and overflowing to empty, lots of vacillation. And if that's been a case for you in your life, then take note. But this is also a very positive conjunction, and you might find yourself experiencing, this is the 7 of Pentacles, it is a money decan, raking up those pentacles. And sometimes it's like it's the reward, it's the harvest. You're raking up some kind of money here. One way or the other, it is a money surprise. That's where it's going to go, the most likely way to express itself. I don't see any other way to parse that. And I'm going to put the actual sun in the chart as well, just for everybody. Hang on a sec. Like, just when I ever try to change something on this fly, the software goes wonky. I don't want to have too much in the way of just keeping it simple. Okay. But there is the sun, of course, in Cancer, and Jupiter is with the sun. I should remind you of that early in here. But I wanted to bring your attention to that as well, because the sun is the sun is in its with Jupiter in its exaltation, and there may be just some kind of translation to things to do with fourth house matters as well: home, property, land, and real estate. For the sun is your exaltation lord, right? So the sun exalts itself in Aries. So you might find some kind of property, home, land assessments, good news, financial news, opportunity to possess a new car, possess a property, and you may win money regarding home, property, and real estate. These are things that take place in the first week of July. All said and done, it's a nice little pop in your finances in a positive way. And when Venus moves into Gemini, of course, on the 4th, then you're going to start feeling a whole new story. But we will talk about that Gemini Venus story in a separate video, likely coming out on Wednesday of this week. So if you are a Taurus sun and moon and rising, you're living this story. It is all about you since 2019, when Venus kept meeting over and over again with Uranus on the yearly. Go watch the intro for the chart of that to count the ways this has occurred 6 times before already in your life. And here comes number 7, and the last is next year, number 8. To define it simply, Venus, the Lord of Taurus, your leader, your ruler, the planet that is your best ally, is giving you positive breakthroughs and break frees of ways of being yourself for your ascendants, ways of doing your career for your Taurus moons, and ways of being in your home or being at home for your Taurus moons. Now, if your rising sign or your sun or your moon is anywhere near this 29 degrees, so let's give you 25 to 29 degrees, you're really feeling it quite strongly. It's really impacting you. It could be a positive surprise. We'll see. I have a fellow I know who's dealing with a very serious bankruptcy situation with his sun at 26 degrees of Taurus. This could be a very big turnaround story for that particular gentleman. We shall see what happens. But break free, break through with Athena, strategic goddess of wisdom and knowledge, but also kind of victory in war and a bit of the edge of lawyerliness up here. You may have a career reputation breakthrough connected to your identity as well. So this is a thing that you could feel happening this week. It might surprise you, might come out of the blue. All said and done, you're kind of busting out or kind of, getting rid of the way in which you are holding yourself back because you are somehow, constrained by some, thought or belief or way of being in your career, in your home life, in your body identity. It's break free, breakthrough. Okay. It's erratic, but it's exciting. It's exhilarating. And it should be positive. Venus is the Lord of your sign in great dignity. So you might feel very free, like you just broke free of a chain or a shackle, likely connected to career based on the position of Athena, but it could be a lot of things. I stuck the moon in there because the moon is your exaltation lord, and she's in your 6th house of work. And she's trining Athena in the 10th house. Very likely this will play out as breakthroughs connected in some fundamental way to job, work, and career, and maybe money and possessions. For after this intense conjunction, she slides into your 2nd house of money and possessions. But you feel free, you feel liberated, you feel like jumping up in an exhilarating moment, or you have a deep insight or download or new fresh understanding of something in your life that before now you weren't able to get clarity on. That's this week, guys, on the 30th to about the 5th of July. Now, if you are a Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign, get ready, set, go. This is a sky that's going to have spiritual illumination in the air. Are you somebody who wants to get a divine download from the house of God where Athena sits? And this is your chance to do that. This activates the dream houses as well. Big breakthrough insights in your dreams this week ahead, June the 30th. That's like nocturnal dreaming at night to July 5th or so. One of the other features is income or money from foreign lands and distant shores may come your way as you activate this in a jolt of sudden increase, but connected to the word international, publishing, that or an international breakthrough regarding publishing. It's so funny. I have a progressed Gemini sun, and I just trended number 98 out of 100 in culture at Substack, and I'm an astrology writer. Go figure. But that could be this kind of story taking itself up yet another notch. If you have any kind of addiction or pattern of undoing yourself, where you've come undone, you're your own worst enemy, big breakthroughs could happen here, new understanding and shifts of consciousness around patterns of self-undoing. You may have an unexpected, sudden, and surprising opportunity for a travel to a distant land or foreign shore. And it may be coming as an offer because it could come from anywhere. I can't tell you where. I will take a look at Lord Mercury. He is your ruler and he'll tell us what he's focused on right now. Oh, goodness gracious. He's in your writing house, communicating and traveling. So unexpected, shocking, surprising breakthroughs, writing, communicating, traveling could be coming up for you. And you could find yourself definitely traveling for sure, but also receiving more money or a breakthrough regarding social media, online presence, websites, and all of that. For that is where Lord Mercury will try to take some of this excitement that Venus is drumming up with Uranus in the 12th house and translate it to the 3rd house matters. I'll let you know, guys, with my progressed Gemini sun, how that feels for me. Don't forget, progressed planets are not as important as your natal sky. What surprises does the universe have in store for you as a Cancer sun, moon, and rising in this week ahead? Well, first of all, it is Venus to bring a delight, surprise, positive thing in the house of great gains from your career, the elder sibling, friends, allies, and benefactors, your long-range goals, wishes, and dreams, and your social networks and groups. All of those are 11th house matters. Now, Venus up here with Uranus can bring a shocking jolt of celebrity or an increase or sudden surprising development regarding your ability to influence groups of belonging or people. Or again, it's got a very celebrity vibe up here, especially at 29 degrees, which is a fame degree. And again, July 3rd, 4th time zone dependent. One of the things about this energy, it could open up a real exciting opportunity to do something with a friend, to do something with a social group, and it's exhilarating and exciting for you in some way. And I don't know why it's so exhilarating, but you might be just jumping for joy, like, oh my God, this golden opportunity came in. How cool is that for me? Now, the moon is the lord of your sign, and she's in the 4th house. So that's interesting. She's kind of in an aversion to what Venus is doing. She may not be able to support much else, but she's in Venus's house. So things to do with property, home, homestead, land, positive surprises from friends, allies, benefactors, and the sibling one older than you are possible this week ahead. This is exciting energy for sure. For the 11th house is a positive house. It also brings pennies from heaven and windfalls. Is there a windfall available to you? Maybe there is. Don't be reckless with that money. We do have Phaethon there, who was pretty well recklessly steering Helios's chariot. So you don't want to be reckless with your luck either. Athena in the house of chunky money, under an income. This could be definitely a little bit of a windfall for you. Coming through the work, the allies, the benefactors, access of your chart, or the sibling one older than you. There's an element of surprise though, right? So it's not something you're expecting. So let's see what happens. All said and done, it could literally be a bit of a windfall. So let's see what goes on here. If you're looking for a new job or you want to get a pay raise, this could be a surprising opportunity for all of those things to occur as well in exciting ways that feel like a bit of a breakthrough for you as well. Leo, this week ahead, June 30th to the end of the week, but we're really going to July 6th, but it's really focused on like July 3rd and 4th, as Venus will be co-joining at 29 degrees, the energy of Uranus. And this is in your career space, Leos. And so career and reputation, and with Athena in your 7th house, this activates things like wedding proposals, suddenly getting a legal agreement to do, or contractual agreement as well, to do with work opportunities. These are things that could pop for you all of a sudden. I think it looks exciting. I think you'll enjoy it. You might find yourself having some kind of celebrity, especially if you're in the online world, which Uranus rules, and Venus rules your house of online matters, and getting a bit of publicity or celebrity or public attention for stuff you do in your online and social media sphere, maybe in your writing sphere as well. You are ruled by the sun, who is in the 12th house. Lots of backroom deals and negotiations could be favoring your career success right now, but there are surprises coming out of the woodwork. Maybe you didn't know that the boss was wanting to promote you, or that you're going to get some kind of new job opportunity, but it does look very positive. Positive surprises in the workplace with colleagues and coworkers, with the boss. That's a story I can see for you for sure. And Athena likes like legal stuff, and she's in your seventh house. So signing on dotted lines, making formal agreements and business partnerships as well. That are delightful, freedom loving, breaking free and breaking through. Look for that surprise anytime between June 30th and let's say July the 5th. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. The energy of Venus Uranus in your ninth house, as it's been happening since 2019, is very exciting, exhilarating, and positive, I hope, regarding matters to do with higher education, universities, colleges. For example, my daughter is a Virgo rising. This started in 2019. She started off at one school in Montreal, then she suddenly shockingly moved to another school in British Columbia. But all said and done, it's disruptive changes, but positive changes during the Uranus Venus cycle in her ninth house. So there's example for you. Ninth house is foreign lands, foreign shores. It's legal and court cases. It's matters to do with a third marriage. It's matters to do with the publishing industry, especially book publishing. So any of you Virgos in that industry, look for some positive, exciting breakthroughs. Am I not making that big? Breakthroughs, break frees. I think all this time it was a tiny little screen. I hope not. And you can find yourself exploring exciting travel and opportunities that come out of the blue that you may not expect. Just like all of a sudden someone's offering you a travel opportunity, why not take it? Honestly, goodness gracious, it could come out of the blue and it could be amazing for you. This is Mercury, the Lord of your sign, that I've just added. No wonder I lost the screen. And Mercury is saying, well, let's translate that if we can to those backroom deals and negotiations, but also distant shores and lands. One major thing about this opportunity, distant shores and lands, travel, is it also is engaging the dream houses 9 and 12. So a breakthrough nocturnal dream may come into your awareness that's going to be very important for you to pay attention to and bring good things from it if you heed the dream message. So pay attention this week to that as well. Again, closer to the third, fourth to be precise. Athena is in your sixth house, and she is in a nice little square to the sky. You could have some breakthroughs here, some connections to some changes in your work environment. This is very human resource department or people behind the scenes in the workplace. Again, a lot of this could translate to work changes as well. There is luck in the ninth house. It's a wealth house. A Lakshmi energy is here. And so you have luck, you have breakthroughs that could come in that, but the luck could also translate to changes regarding work, strategic changes in your work environment that bring you lucky breaks in kind of a financial way as well. Yeah, so I'm going to stay with that, although a father figure may be able to suddenly pass money your way. Authority figures, father figures passing on money to you in a way that surprises you suddenly, unexpectedly. Mercury in the house of hospitals talking to that stellium, has a bit of that old legacy wealth vibe. Sometimes that can look like that as well. Not necessarily and not for sure, but possibly. With Jupiter moving through your house of windfalls, there's a lot of that energy here too for some of you, but it's not your personal reading. It's a general bell curve astrology reading, so don't get all knotted up about what I just said. Libra's sun, moon, and rising sign, Venus and Venus and Uranus come together. She's dignified. I hope you listen to the intro, much more information there. In your eighth house of chunky money. You don't earn that money. It doesn't come to you through earnings. It could be a tax rebate, an investment that pays off in the markets. It could be a shared income with a spouse, spousal support, inheritances, that kind of stuff. This kind of money comes out of the blue for you this week ahead. Sometimes it can even look like money from the sale of a property, money coming to you maybe because of a commission check or a sign-on bonus or a severance package, those kinds of vibes. Now, if this chunk of money, like a bonus or a reward or something, is coming to you this time frame, and you get one more chance next year at 29 degrees. That's a powerful degree. It's pretty exact July 3rd, 4th, time zone dependent, but you'll feel it building Monday through to maybe even the 5th. So watch the sky this week for some money surprises. That's what it looks like to me. You are ruled by Venus. She's your Lord, and she's in your money, chunky money house. You're not earning it. It's not your paycheck. It's coming sideways, left fielder, out of the blue, some way, somehow. Now, Athena is in the house of lottery wins, but she's also in the house of just good fortune. And she does have a conversation and witness what's happening to Venus in a square. There may be something about a book. This is authorship. This is legal matters, but luck, good fortune, and breakthrough energy here as well. I don't know what else to say. It looks like money surprises. Now, it could be anything, like the insurance check's bigger than you thought, a tax rebate is bigger than you thought, you got more on the sale of a property than you thought, than you were expecting. There's surprises here for sure. Ultimately, because it's the Iranian surprise, I can't tell you what the heck it is. If I could, I would, but I can't. So it's a house of secrets. A secret is spilled that surprises you. Don't be reckless, of course, if you get a chunk of money, because you have the reckless Helios chariot driver. I described the asteroid Phaethon here in the intro. Go back and listen to it. But this is where you can be reckless with a chunk of money that surprisingly comes your way as well. So be very more careful about that way you deal with it. If a stock investment pays off, maybe it's reckless not to take money off the table. You see what I mean? Look closely at what is the more measured pace and path, with maybe a nice little tap on the shoulder of some financial good news this week ahead. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. First of all, Venus is bringing you a spark of unexpected luck or goodness in your long-term committed love stories. And that can be anything. You could be having your partner in crime, your long-term committed love partner may have a bit of luck and news to share with you, and you get to partake of their positive success story. Okay. So because it's the house of significant others, and particularly long-term marriage type partnerships, then this may be their surprise and you're watching it happen. If you don't have a partner, though, it could be your audience, your client, your public, your marketplace, for it is 10th house from the 10th. It represents the output for your career and those people you are serving. You might find that with Mars, the Lord of your sign, in the 11th house of good spirit, where windfalls happen, that your partner may have a windfall, or you guys might experience a windfall, or you're having some lucky breaks connected to windfalls and career gains and unexpected good, positive dreams coming true in exciting ways. Athena is squaring Venus, and she can witness Venus here. So there may be some unexpected developments regarding property, land, home, and real estate connected to this story, as well as money that could come from legacy wealth, inheritances, especially regarding lawyerly notes and things like that. Athena kind of acts like the barrister down there, and possibly there's some news around that as well. We do have Mercury for 2 months in the 10th house of father figures. We don't know what that is. You could also get some unexpected money coming from your upline on your father's figures in your family as a consequence of this, if that makes any sense to you. It won't be true for everyone, of course. Now, your partner can have news for you that shocks or surprises you, right? That's about it. Like, oh my God, like I've got some amazing news. I got to tell it to you if you're in a marriage-like relationship or a long-term love story. You do have the North Node traveling through your house of good fortune right now, expanding your luck around all good things happening. And so because it's also a fertility house where the North Node is for baby making, this could look like partner tells you that partner is pregnant, right? That's the kind of story there. So that means you're the guy, because women get pregnant. Okay. Tip. All right. Moving into the next sign. Was that politically incorrect? Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. We have a story. We got to put Jupiter in for you. He's the Lord of your sign. You always want to see how the blessings can be distributed by the ruler of your sign. And it's kind of nice to do that on such a simple delineation. So since 2019, you've been having 6 behind you, and this year, next year, 2 more to go. You've been having the conjunction here of Uranus and Venus in your house of work. Now, this could definitely have been disruptive for job and career, but positive disruptions like erratic energy, in terms of livelihood, career, and work since 2019. Different things coming and different things going. Not a lot of stability maybe, but the changes may have been perceived overall as positive, although there has been a lot of change there. Unexpected developments regarding pets and shocks and surprises there. Unexpected developments regarding rental property or health matters. But with Venus, these can indicate positivity as well in those unexpected developments ever since 2019. But here we go again. 29 is an important and powerful degree. It's completion, it's anoretic, it's intense. And what the hell is that beeping sound? And it's going to indicate here with this surprise that because you are ruled by Jupiter, it could look like a chunk of money. He's exalted with the sun, by the way, there in the house of chunks of money that you don't earn. What kinds of chunks of money could that be? I don't know. A tax rebate, an inheritance. He rules your house of real estate, property, unexpected money from property sale or property developments, money coming from the ancestral line or the family of origin, whatever it is. It's the good money surprises coming through your sky this week ahead. I know I hear the beeping too, guys. I don't know what it is. I'll check it out. I'll be right back. I can't take the sound of beeping when I'm finishing this up for you. It was the oven. It was in self-cleaning mode. So this means that for you Sagittarius, is you got a message about self-cleaning. What are you self-cleaning in your life as this surprising sky opens up for you in the week ahead? Okay, Jupiter is in the house of secrets, and the sixth house is house of work, surprising abundant secrets regarding work, dogs, pets, cats, home, rental properties as well. Unexpected opportunity for a rental property to rent your home out, or to be able to rent a property, or to become unexpectedly a pet owner. These are the surprises, June 30th to about the 5th of July at the latest. Epicenter, July 3rd and July 4th. And yeah, rental property strong here with the North Node in the 4th house. So you really could have unexpected someone wants to rent your property out unexpectedly. You have an opportunity to rent a property coming out of the blue, equally get a pet, of course, and a chunk of money, tax rebate or unexpected financial chunks of money coming at you. Ability to suddenly pay off or pay down a debt is another way to look at this as well. All right, Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. So yes, Venus and Uranus bring a liberating shock or surprise in the house of winning the lottery. Are you excited? Because it is the 5th house of good fortune, but it's money that we get through speculation, like gambling and games of chance. And so, yeah, you could win. Don't be reckless here. I don't know, the reckless asteroid, Phaethon, is with Venus. Like, if you win some money, don't be reckless. But you are in a sky that says, one of the few signs, don't ever overdo it. We say in Canada, know your limit, play within it. It's one of our mottos in our national gaming system, because you can win with one lottery ticket. 100 is not going to make a difference, right? Get one. But this is a good week to play. June 30th through to July 5th. Epicenter July 4th and 5th. Unexpected surprises in romantic love. Out of the blue, some unexpected romantic opportunity arises with Athena squaring from your 2nd house. It definitely involves money breakthroughs as well, earnings, resources, possessions, and money. Again, you're in a lucky money house this week ahead. You've been getting this luck here on the regular since 2019, but again, it will impact Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising closer to 29 Capricorn. And so if you are like, say, 26 to 29 Capricorn, especially sun, moon, and rising, it may be your turn to win big. And you also have this in the house of children. And this is a fertility transit with Venus. It could be exciting news that you are going to be a parent, grandparent, or parent even. It's fertility. So kaboom, who's pregnant? You're pregnant, your partner's pregnant, you're going to be a grandparent. Those are the vibes of the sky. Jupiter is the god of children in the house of long-term love. Again, it could be a fertility story for sure. It brings positive energy around those matters. If you're an artist or creative, you can have a viral hit, a breakthrough, an entrepreneurial business breakthrough, a creative art breakthrough as well, and expanding your reach into a larger audience could show up for this. Getting a bit of celebrity. This is the house of one of the fame houses, the 5th house. And so getting a bit of fame, micro celebrity moments, or even the big deal. Maybe you're ready to launch into some recognition that's a little bit outside of your orbit. What a breakthrough that would be if that's something you're looking to do. You're ruled by Saturn. Saturn is at 0 degrees of Aries. Oh, should I put him in there for you? I guess I should be fair. I did it to everybody else, right? So here's Lord Saturn right down here in your fourth house. Saturn is what we call an aversion. He can't really see very well what's going on in Taurus, so he may not have that much to do. He's 12 houses from the storyline. Actually, as a story, there could be some financial breakthroughs connected to past life credits and merit, maybe connected to distant shores and lands from the one in which you were born, and the luck could come from there. One thing I would say about Venus in this part of your chart, she's in a very good place. We call it the house of her joy in the ancient tradition. So she's strong by being in dignity. She's trining your ascendant or sun or moon. This is a lucky week ahead. At the very least, it could be a nice romantic breakthrough with an existing relationship or a new one coming into your life. Those are all positive types of energy, especially if your sun is in Capricorn, then it could very much be more aligned with money and career than relationship. A career breakthrough, a money breakthrough for career matters, winning money that support your greater solar energy success in this lifetime. And Saturn does rule you, so he would try to translate that to either 12 houses from the fifth, so stuff to do with foreign lands and distant shores, but it could also translate to matters to do with home, property, land, and real estate. Win some money, buy a house, win some money, rent a property, those kinds of things. Don't forget, general astrology, not everyone's going to win the lottery. I hate when saying, you lied to me, I didn't win the lottery. You've got to think with your brain, guys. Can you imagine that every Capricorn in the world could win money in this week ahead? That's not logical. So if anything, I'm preaching to the wrong choir, because you Capricorns are resourceful and you're very practical and very, realistic. But I'm just telling you, it's for some of you. Otherwise, there's just good things happening. It's just a lucky sky, a luck goddess in a luck house with a surprise for you this week ahead, or your children have a positive surprise, or your romantic partner has a positive surprise, and you're getting to partake of it. Already, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. It is like, okay, I'm one of you, I'm a rising. It's a story where you're going to have a surprise in your home, at your home, near your home, connected to where you live. It's your fourth house of home, property, and real estate. It depends on what you're doing in the home. Uranus could be about being a mad scientist in the home, or it could be about being on the internet in the home. As an Aquarius rising, you probably, like me, since 2018, have moved your home quite a lot. That's what it's been like for me. Lots of relocations during since 2018-19 ingress here. This will affect Aquarius risings very profoundly, closer to the last 25 to 29 degrees Aquarius, but all Aquarius still feel the surprise here. And so it could be like, oh my God, a golden, surprising, positive development in my home about not third house matters. Third house matters where Saturn, the Lord of your sign, sits. If he can translate it, a breakthrough in social media, online, it could be a viral hit, publicity from something you're writing, something you're doing in the social media sphere, hitting big time energy. When Uranus first went into Taurus back in 2018, I had viral content on my YouTube channel. I'd only been doing it for a couple of years, but suddenly all of a sudden the stuff about ascension waves went crazy on my channel. People thought I was paying to get new subscribers. Similarly, there could be a wave of success in the social media sphere, in any kind of online platform for some Aquarians in this week ahead, that it feels like a delightful surprise. Now, the home and property and real estate is literal, right? It's where you live. We've got Jupiter and the sun, by the way, in your house of rentals. So positive developments regarding home, property, real estate, pets, and rentals are all possible at this time. Finally, I think what I want to mention here is you're going to feel very strategic. You've got a strategic eye with Athena traveling through your sign. You're going to do nothing without really mapping it out like a three-dimensional chess player. So even if you have a positive development that surprises you with home, or translated by Saturn into social media landscape, or prosperity in a sudden bolt in your home from your home, you have this kind of I don't know, AI like strategic mind right now. You're like looking at the big picture, you're looking at your next move, so I don't think you'll fall prey to the recklessness here because you are becoming Athenian here. Athena is the goddess of authorship. In my practice with clients, I learned that because of authors and they'll have a strong Athena. So authorship, professional astrology is often Athenian. So is lawyerly stuff. But if you're an astrologer like me and this is happening, it's going to be good news in your astrology world as well. You never know. Now, she's a secret asteroid involved in the charts of professional astrologers. She's on my sun, but I've noticed that. But an astrologer in England did a study of what celestial body had the most predictive value around whether somebody could become a professional astrologer, because she looked at hundreds of astrologer charts, and it was Athena, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. I think she's very esoteric. Anyway, so there's that. Any other advice for you? No, just expect good things happening in and from the home that are surprising and positive. And that's what I've got. I can't even give you any other flavor to that, baby. North Node is traveling through your second house of earnings. Could also indicate a nice jolt of money, a new possession, unexpected opportunity to possess something that you really want. And all of a sudden it's yours. Like you always wanted that, something or other, a piece of furniture or item you could get for your place. And all of a sudden, boom, you're able to get it or it comes your way. That's another opportunity that you might experience from this sky. Now, never last, never least, best and always best, Pisces sun and moon and rising sign. Venus is with Uranus, giving you a jolt of surprise this week ahead. June 30th to the 6th, you're likely to feel it, most likely 3rd and 4th of July. This is exciting energy, and it is in the house of siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, neighbors, and friends from childhood. Holy man, it's busy there. It's a kitchen drawer, sink, kitchen junk drawer in the zodiac. So other people in your life like that could have surprises, and you're hearing about it and you're getting wind of the surprise. You're getting information, or you're hearing about it. It sextiles you, so the surprise benefits you in some fundamental way. This is also your social media landscape. This is your like brick and mortar businesses. This is your neighbors and neighborhood. Like surprises come from this part of the world, and maybe even prosperity or celebrity or breakthrough energy in that part of your sky. Because your third house is people you knew when you were quite young. It's kind of like the friends from high school or the friends maybe even from elementary school for some of you. There can be some interesting surprises coming from those people as well. Unexpected opportunity to travel. This is a travel house. So if you're going to have a travel opportunity, it's going to show up this week. It might be delightful. It might be surprising. Similarly, an unexpected opportunity to be learning, educating, getting some kind of offer opportunity, like a class or something like that. This is an idea house. It is about your mind. You might have a breakthrough insight, a breakthrough idea of some kind coming into your awareness, and you could receive it gracefully. You're ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter, the greater benefic, Mr. Santa Claus. He's your guy. He's got your back. And we'll put him into the story. Just, why not, right? So you see what he's doing. He's moving through the sign of luck. What kind of luck is here? Well, lots of luck. Lucky in love, lucky in winning the lottery, lucky in having a baby, lucky in becoming a grandparent. So this kind of Jupiter fifth house luck is upon you, exalted. The sun is with Jupiter, is very intense over there. And, Venus could bring you a financial windfall through a speculative gain, a gambling opportunity, or a win. She rules your house of chunky money as well. Could be a stock that takes off as well. If you invested in a risky stock, it could now be taking off. Or she could bring it to you from like a local environment, the local neighborhood. Or you might have a financial breakthrough or lucky break regarding prosperity and a sibling. So this is what we got. It's happening now. Jupiter's bringing you luck, and he's going to do it for a year. But with Venus connecting in a sextile to Jupiter, whole sign sextile, at a potent degree, the 29th degree, there's a culminating intensity here for some kind of luck. Now, your third house is your travel house, and you may have had unexpected travel opportunities coming and going and coming since 2018-19, and it depends on where your IC is, but some of you may have changed your home because you changed your neighborhood a lot since 2018 and 19, and right, did that happen? Some of you did, some of you didn't, but it depends on where your IC sits natally in floating whole sign house system. All said and done, if you want to pick up the phone or pay attention to your emails, third house communications are very important here. emails, phone calls, or a text message coming in off the third house, communications house, looking really good on you, most intensely around the third and the fourth, very positive energy, but you could feel it Monday, the 30th through to even the 6th of July. Let me know where this luck is coming from and what it feels like to experience it. Athena, by the way, squaring from the 12th house brings luck from distant shores, strategic luck from distant shores, and travel. So there's stuff there to consider about where this lucky vibe and surprising breakthrough vibe is coming from in your sky. All right, that's what I got. And a sibling one younger, if you have it, is most particularly the third house as well, where some of these breakthroughs and exciting developments are happening. Well, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and please hit the notification bell. Now, you know how I do this outro thing all the time? I'm going to do a fun one with you guys. I want to talk about remote viewing. Now, I've got all kinds of like spaghetti stains on this card or whatever it is, but the US presidential election is what this is. And it was an index card put into an envelope with a double blind remote viewing session. So my partner, James, put this envelope last summer in the summertime, in July, August, into an envelope with the question, what about the US presidential election? That's what the question is. That's my target for remote viewing. And these are my answers on the back. Well, I'm going to read that to you because what I did is not review it last summer. We got stalled out on like 30 cards and then we were traveling. He was traveling. We never finished it. We did about a half a dozen and then a dozen and then we stopped. So yesterday I thought I'm going to start pulling today. This is this morning. I'm going to start pulling these cards out of the pile. Oh, here's the envelope. So that was what it was. H394P is the code. He doesn't know which of his 30 questions is in this envelope. He gives it to me. It's double blind. I tune in and I get my answer. You won't believe what I got because I'm reminding you guys, we all have this power to see into the future and into the past because it's already happened. The question he asked me last summer, July, August, was what about the US presidential election 24? Like what's going to happen? Obviously, what can I see? And here's what I wrote this morning. I wrote the following elements. I wrote a broken bridge. Then I wrote a red and green flag. And then I thought immediately of Palestine, but in remote viewing, you don't assign meaning. You just get the symbols, the images, and you write them down. A red and green flag. And then I heard the song by Joni Mitchell. They paved paradise and turned it to a parking lot. They paved paradise and been in a parking, the Paradise Parking Lot song. And then I said to my partner as I was writing my notes down, I said, oh, darn it, with the Gaza flag, the red and green flag, this is making me think of what I think of Gaza being a parking lot. Why would I say Gaza is a parking lot? Because Israel just after October 7th said we're going to destroy it. It's going to become a parking lot. Actually, I don't know who said that. Was it Netanyahu or the defense minister said they're going to raise Gaza, and they did. They did that exactly what they said they were going to do. Take people at their word. So I thought, oh no, I'm looking at a situation with Gaza. I'm thinking my brain's in the remote viewing. And now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole of the Gaza situation. But I kept going back because I'm a trained remote viewer. So it was Broken Bridge, Red and Green Flag, the Parking Lot song by Joni Mitchell. And then I wrote the month of August. And then I wrote an old gray-haired wispy man. Like he looked very frail and he had this gray wispy hair, kind of old and like wretched, losing his head head of state. It was Joe Biden. So what I took from this retrospectively is that Joe Biden lost his head of state in August. That's when the DNC was, and that's when Kamala Harris became the nominee for the presidential election officially. So this was a July card that I was doing, right? So this is July 24. I was seeing Joe Biden, a very frail, wispy, gray-haired guy losing his head of statehood. And August, although I'm wondering if this August more Joe Biden news is going to come with his health, because it could be both August. And Broken Bridge. What is a broken bridge, guys? I'm not an American in your political system. The bridge was cracked like this in half, like snapped almost like a bridge you would travel on. So there was a broken bridge, So that might be a symbol, like metaphor. It might be actually something literal I don't understand. And then the red and green flag in the parking lot. But he lost his head of statehood because of the gas. I know you say, oh, no, he didn't. No, he did actually. I know you're going to tell me that Starlink stole the election. I hear it. But the thing is that the Muslim vote and the young vote and the independent vote were so angry that he was named Geocide Joe, that they wanted a change. And Trump was talking peace and getting out of forever wars. And Tulsi Gabbard was reflecting that back. As he, there was a lot of that push that if we get the hell out of the democratic system with the neoconservative people running it, we might break free of these wars, because there was a huge kickback on TikTok against Geocide Joe, and the young people and the Muslim vote were extremely important to Trump's campaign. He took neutral non-voters, and he also took voters that were young, and he took independents and converted a lot of them on promises that may not even come true about stopping the forever wars in which the United States gets involved in over and again. So why I want to share that with you is that I'm teaching you how to remote view, but I just go inward, I close my eyes, I get a snap vision, I write it down, I start over like a blank slate, I take a peek, I get it down, and I compile them without trying to make a story of it. Because I could have gotten derailed and started writing things about Gaza, but it wasn't about that. It was how that scene, that thing that was going on, was a part of his losing of his head. Alrighty, that's what I've got for you. I just thought I'd share the outro I did today and how remote viewing can work and how we can all do that. I like to use index cards, and I like to get someone else to help me with that in an envelope so that I do not see what is actually, I have no idea what's in this envelope. I just see the number. I don't pull the card out when I first do it, right? Well, I did that today. I looked at the back side of the card, not the front, usually right on the envelope. And my partner doesn't know what's in there either. I shuffles the 30 or 40 cards that he's made ideas about questions, and then he's randomly assigned numbers. So it's called double blind. Anyway, that's just a little share. I thought I'd share a little bit about the remote viewing technique for you guys at the end of my video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Please come join me on Sky Reader this September, October. I'd love to have you in class. It's a fun class. It's, well taught. I've done it many times. I'm going to be adding now a Discord group gathering place for everybody that's much more organized for group study and students to get together themselves. I can't manage all of you guys. I'm not teaching a year-long course where I need to have tutors I hire to tutor you. You're not getting certified with me. You're going to learn to be your own astrologer, time your best life. The best I can give you the information to do some easy timing tools by learning the structure of the astrological sky with which you were born, then basic nature of astrology, and then moving into some easy timing tools that are easy to do at any level of skill. I think they are anyway. I'm always surprised that other people aren't as don't think it's as simple as I do, but believe me, some of them are pretty simple. All right, thanks guys. I'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. Thank you.